Golfer 630 Chad.
Morning, Tyson. Look, you played a while, obviously, in the league. When you have a game like you had a week ago against Montreal, I mean, is that do you check that as a one-off, or do you sort of put that in the back of your mind looking for, a better performance? Like, how do you kind of weigh those things where you don't overreact maybe when something like that happens in a 5-1-1 stretch, but you also have to lend a little bit of credence to what happened?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's almost a week ago now, and we've played. We played a good game last game, so you kind of forget about it. But at the same time, you're watching video and you're picking up on tendencies and things that made them successful against us. So we've certainly. We're disappointed in ourselves in that game, but since moved on, and now all you can do is kind of pick things out of it that made them successful, and try to stop that, and then learn things that we can do to beat them.
You basically chose the Oilers. You had other options. How do you think it's gone in terms of from a decision-making process and the fit here in Edmonton so far?
It's been good. It's been a lot of fun. This year's been kind of crazy, but it's been a lot of fun to play hockey, and I think our team is having success, and personally, a lot of guys are having success too. So I think it's been a good fit, and I'm really enjoying the guys and enjoying what I get to see of the city so far. And obviously, the rink's beautiful, so it's been a good fit.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
A couple of things, Tyson. Are you playing hurt? Pardon me?
I didn't hear the question.
Are you playing hurt? Because the last couple of times you've had some injuries like a lower body and stuff like that. You keep playing, but are you playing hurt?
No, I feel really good today, and couple weird ones the last road trip where I felt lucky to kind of get away with unscathed. So I feel really good right now, and hopefully feel really good tonight.
And there's every team, you played Montreal, and there have been some one-sided games, and yet most of the team games you played against the other teams, apart from Ottawa, have been closer. Is there some reason that the matchup, or what?
I'm not sure. I think it's that last game was like we said, kind of a one-off. We got off to a bad start and just kind of snowballed from there, but. Yeah, I think this division, we're seeing teams so many times and so often, and you're getting to know teams really well, and you're making some adjustments on the fly, and sometimes they work, and you're able to get leads. So I don't know what it is, but I think this division's so tight, and every team is good, so you got to be ready to go every night.
Rob Kichikowski, Post Media.
Hi, Tyson. Obviously, a very weird stretch of games for you guys, where you play a road game in Montreal, fly home for one, and then go back to Montreal for another one. I'm just wondering where the guys are at, just mentally and physically, in the middle of this stretch.
I think we're good now. I think that 5 days off was a weird one. You're not doing a whole lot. You're kind of just hanging around the hotel and trying to keep your legs, but. We played a good one against Calgary and had a day off, and we fly out yesterday. So we're kind of getting back into the rhythm here, and we've got a lot of hockey coming up. So I think we've wrapped our head around the changing schedule, and we're good to go.
You got 18 games left, which is the stretch drive. Does this season feel like it dragged on forever, or just flew by? And we're not the ones in the hotel room sitting around. How's it been for you guys?
I think when you think about there's only 18 games left, I guess it's flown by. But there's definitely been some times where it's felt long. Whether you're just flying to a city and you're sitting in your hotel room all afternoon, but 18 games and I think we have a month left. So, I guess it's gone pretty quick.
Guillaume Lafressois, La Presse.
Hi, Tyson. Montreal will have Eric Stahl for the first time tonight. You were in the same division as him, I believe, for 3 straight seasons, and he had 3 good seasons during that time. So, what can you say about the challenge to face Eric Stahl?
Yeah, I mean, he's been a tremendous player in this league a long time. He's a big body with, good hands. He works hard and, he can finish around the net. He's a great player. And I think, I don't know him personally, but he sounds like a good leader. So I'm sure it's a good ad for Montreal. And, we get to see what he's got tonight. But, there's a lot of good players, in our division. So we're playing against great players every night.
Even though he was playing in the East for most of his career before that, can you sort of describe how he was able maybe to find that second win in his career, and how do you think he might have adjusted to still be successful later in his career?
Yeah, I think that happens to, some guys. They change teams or whatever, and, they can have a bit of a slow start, and then they find their legs, they find their rhythm, and he put together some really good seasons there. So I think you probably have to ask him a little more about it than me. I mean, I played against him a couple times, but not totally sure what the mindset was, or his success over the last few years. But he's obviously been a great player in this league a long time, and it's not easy to do for a long time. So he's obviously found a way.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no more questions, this concludes Tyson Barrie's media availability. Guillaume François, La Presse.
Oui, salut Alex. Vous êtes au milieu d'un segment de calendrier qui est vraiment particulier. Vous êtes rentré à la maison seulement pour quelques jours, vous repartez. Où en êtes-vous physiquement? Puis est-ce que vous avez est-ce que vous avez trouvé des façons de peut-être gérer autant votre santé physique que le sommeil, le repos, l'énergie, toutes ces choses-là?
Oui, c'est sûr que évidemment pour nous autres dernièrement. Pas une cédule qui est facile, beaucoup de voyagements. Je dirais quand les choses vont bien, évidemment, on a une belle fiche à date cette année. Je pense que mentalement, ça l'aide beaucoup. Donc, au travers, là, depuis le début de la saison, on a eu beaucoup de pratiques optionnelles ou dépendamment de la cédule, là, à certains moments, on a eu des journées de congé. Donc, je pense que tout ça, là, si tu additionnes tout ça ensemble, ça nous permet de garder le focus mentalement. Puis, physiquement, je pense que quand même cette année, là, au travers de l'équipe, tout le monde trouve une façon de rester en santé.
Est-ce que le sommeil est dérangé dans des situations comme ça, ou est-ce que vous changez de fuseau horaire comme dans les deux sens 2 fois en une semaine, quelque chose comme ça? Oui,
c'est évidemment, c'est pas l'idéal, mais ça fait partie de vraiment qu'est-ce qui nous a offert cette année avec la cédule. Je pense que c'est important. Tout le monde réalise. En tout cas, moi, je pense à travers les années, tu réalises à quel point des fois, un petit 30 minutes, tu fermes les yeux à la maison ou dans l'avion. Je pense que tu essaies le plus possible là, de garder ton corps en santé. Puis aussi, je pense mentalement, ça fait toujours du bien.
Tony Brouwer, Oilers TV.
Hey, Alex, last week on the heels of a pretty unusual road trip for you guys came into this building and didn't necessarily have the effort you guys were looking for. How much are you guys looking forward to getting a crack at the same team in the same building and a potential bounce back effort tonight?
Yeah, I think we're looking forward to the challenge. Obviously, we've played them I think 4 or 5 times so far this year. That they've been a pretty good match. They got a good team on the other side. They've added some key guys in the summer. They're deep up front, so it'd be a good challenge for us tonight.
And just 2 questions here, if you don't mind, Sean. The first one, you talked about adding. They added a guy not too long ago, Eric Stahl. What's the challenge in playing a guy like a veteran center like him, where he's found success in the last couple of years?
He's a great player. Watched him for a while. He's he finds ways to get 15, 20 goals every year. He's hard to play against. He's a guy that plays in the hard areas of the game. So it's just adds more depth to their team. I think we like our squad and we like the players we have. So again, it's overall it's probably a good matchup for all 4 lines tonight.
And just going back to the changing of the schedule, I know you guys have been pretty adamant in taking it day by day, but does it weigh on you guys mentally or emotionally when you guys are kind of uncertain about what the future might hold, even though there's only 18 games left?
Yeah, I think you would have asked me that question a year ago. I'd probably say, yeah, it's hard. We're almost 13 months now, over a year into this pandemic. I think you realize that there's so much uncertainty and things change so fast. So I think personally, I've found a way to adapt to this, and it's not ideal, but you make it work.
Rob Pichkowski, Post Media.
Hey, Alex, we're obviously seeing the playoff separation now, so you guys will have a pretty good idea of who you're going to play in the first round. So when you play one of these teams, whether it's a Toronto or a Winnipeg or a Montreal, is part of it, eyeing up the opposition, figuring the other team out for when you possibly might meet down the road?
I think it's just keep growing as a team. We got 18 games left here. They're all valuable points. We still got ways that we can get better, and it's a great stretch for us to prepare for the playoffs. So it's the 4 or 5 weeks before heading into that. You want your team to feel good. So when the playoff starts, I think in all assets you're ready to go.
Where are you guys at now with playing the same teams over and over again? At the start, it was very exciting, the Canadian division. Now it's, does it get redundant, or is it still exciting? How do you view the way things are?
I feel like you get used to it. I think personally the 2 games are fun. I think once it gets to 3, it's probably not the perfect scenario, but we got to make it work. You can't fly across country just to play a game and then fly back and come back and forth. So,
final question, Bob Stauffer, 630 Ched.
Alex, it sounds like the Canadiens might deploy Eric Stahl on their first unit, maybe to help him out a bit on face-offs. And it's a really specific question, but you scored in 4 and 13 seconds the other night against Calgary. Is there any, as much as we focus on the brilliance of what Leon can do, he's about 60% right now, face-offs and power play. Everybody's got a role. Is that maybe an underappreciated part of his game? The fact that he puts you guys with puck possessions right off the draw?
Yeah, I think sometimes as a unit, we take it for granted, to be honest. I think he takes a lot of pride in that. And I mean, it's key. It gives us, we're saving 15, 20 seconds of, breakout going back to our end. So we're allowed to create a scoring chance right off the back or create momentum. So, there's a lot of things he does in this game that he's the best at. There's also a lot of other things that sometimes go unnoticed, and I think that's one part of his game that he's a key player for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no more questions, this concludes Alex Chason's media availability. If you have questions, please use the raise hand function. Start with Bob Stauffer, 6:30 Chad.
Dave, all season long, you've been a guy not too high, not too low. Don't over-evaluate maybe what happens. You guys had a tough performance in Montreal, but you're in a sequence that you're 5-1-1 in the last 7. So, take us through the mindset tonight. Do you look back at what happened that night, or is that kind of combination of factors? Let's just keep going.
There's every game you take something out of it, but basically we can go back to the 2 games that we've played in here. One we weren't very good at all, and the other one we were pretty solid. So you take some motivation out of the ones where you didn't play very well, and you take look at some of the things you did very well when you won. So you use a little bit of both, but we really didn't play very well. We were not a lot of juice in our game last time we were in here last week, so it's good to come back, and hopefully we'll recognize that. We have to be a lot better if we expect to win, and I think our team will be better tonight.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
A couple of things, Dave. The same lineup, will you be playing the same lineup that you had against Calgary?
Yeah, that's the way it looks. We've got same lineup. Schmidt will start. Okay,
and I mean, as you get 18 games left, are you starting to try to formalize, okay, here's who I want on this line, here's who I want on that line? If not, at least with the bottom 6, maybe you look at, Kara and Chason and Shore, okay, that looks like a pretty good line. And then, Cassian and Archibald on the 3rd line with it. Are you starting to look at that sort of stuff?
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at that all year long, a certain mix that you're looking for between different roles that you're looking for in your group. And I mean, there's roles, special teams, I mean, size, there's a lot of different factors you're looking at. So we're trying to find the right mix, and some of that is dictated with how players play. Other is dictated on what different roles like injuries and people that are in and out of the lineup. So we're starting to, you get to know everybody and you try to fit the pieces in. But that being said, you might have an injury or two, and now you got to adapt again. So you get to know your personnel, and hopefully you can fit them all in the right places to maximize what they're doing.
Thank you.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
So you coached for a long time, and you're probably pretty good at knowing what's going to happen, what you're going to get out of your team, every night. Sometimes you might get the feeling it's not there, or maybe it is there, or whatever. Is it harder this year? Have you been surprised more this year by what you expected and what you got?
I don't know if it's harder. You're more aware of it this year. Just, you're more cognizant of really digging into how your team feels. And, there's a lot of outside factors going on throughout the whole league that everybody's aware of. So you become very cognizant of making sure your team's up to speed on everything. And just the last few days, I mean, we've had the league has sent out a memo that just stay vigilant on what you're doing. And so there's things like that you're really in touch with your group. And, you're always trying to figure out how it affects your group. How does the Vancouver situation affect your whole group? You try to monitor it and make sure you're talking with your team and make sure we're doing things right that just allow us to move along as best we can.
Well, I know coaches have always been, it's important to get rid of the outside influences, right? To eliminate all the outside stuff that you don't want affecting your group, but that's clearly impossible this year. Does this make you a better coach?
You got to manage it. You can't eliminate it. You got to manage it, and that's sometimes a different perspective. But a lot of those things I've always felt that's the best way to be is upfront for your team. And there's days when you, like you say, you like your energy in your team, and there's other days when you're concerned about it. And as a coach, you try to. There's different things you can try to do to try to maximize your group, and they're down a little bit. You try to tweak things. When they're up, you got to let them go a little more. So there has been a lot of situations like that a lot of thinking goes into how you're treating your team from day to day.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Dave, Montreal's one of the best team at limiting goals 5-on-5. You've seen them 4 times. You did have the one game where you dominated and won. That was their back-to-back night. What do you feel that they do well defensively? How do you attack them differently? Because that seems to be their bread and butter. They just don't give up a lot 5-on-5.
Yeah, they're a pretty solid team. They're a good balance. They They played well against us early. They played well against everybody early, and then they kind of had a bit of a downtime. And we weren't very good the other day. So we're looking for a little bit of a rebound game here, but they're a solid, balanced team.
The one game you did beat them, you had Mike Smith in goal. Now, obviously, he's played well. How much does his puck handling help other teams? Like Montreal likes to cycle the puck law. How much of a factor is that for your team and a benefit when Smith is able to, just limit the other team's ability to even forecheck or cycle?
Well, it does have a factor. He takes some of that forecheck away, which you end up defending less. So he'd be lying to say he's not a factor in there of helping your team get out of your own end and spend less time there.
Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Dave, back to Speck's point a little bit in managing your group's energy levels and such. What have you sensed out of them the last couple of days here? And it was unfortunate that it happened, but that day off you decided to give the group on Saturday, do you feel like that maybe could come around to benefit you? You talked about having what kind of juice you'll have heading into the game tonight.
Yeah, I think we talked about it at the coaching staff this morning. We had a good, quick practice yesterday morning before we got on the plane that there seemed to be some good life in this morning after the skate here. There seems to be some good life, so hopefully it benefited us. We'll see. I'll tell you about 9:30 tonight.
How is your group in adjusting on the fly? So let's say it's not there right off the get-go. What do you sense on your bench? And are you seeing what you want to see from your group to make those adjustments and energy level adjustments in game?
Yeah, I think as your group matures and you're finding different ways to win and recognizing how different games are going to go, I think the maturity of our group continues to improve. That allows us to adapt to situations. And you might not have an A game, but you got to find a way to win. And you might be playing your A game. The other team's got the goaltender is great. You got to stay with it. I mean, there's different circumstances that come into play, but ultimately it's about finding a way to win each night. And if you can do that, or give yourself the best chance at that, you can become a good team. And I sense that we look at those occasions and we adapt, and you're not always successful in them, but we have the right mindset to give us a chance a lot of nights. So that's the maturity of our team moving forward.
Thank you. If there are no more questions, this includes Dave Tippett's media availability.